And you talk about how it will affect the Trump administration. Will we see them duck and weave? Again, a lot of folks, especially a lot of politicians, if there's an investigation ongoing, they try to say, well, we can't speak to that. How long can the administration say we can't speak to that for?
Well, I mean, they've said that for a very long time now. I mean, all throughout the campaign, any question that Donald Trump has not wanted to answer, Donald Trump has not answered, or he's given the answer that he feels like answering, even if it's not actually an accurate answer to the question. So, generally speaking, I would say what we do know is that these questions are going to continue to be asked. And when on multiple fronts the administration is unwilling to answer questions, that doesn't bode well for getting higher approval ratings. And right now, Donald Trump's approval ratings are quite poor.
And how do you see, I know you pointed out the Democrats not being so happy, of course, what happened during the election, but do you see them continuing to capitalize on this announcement this week? And do you envision them continue to do so in the absence of new information? Again, Comey said something this week. A lot of times when law enforcement agencies, as we know, say they're conducting an investigation, they tend to go radio silent until there's actually something then delivered. How do you expect the Democrats to use that, again, if there was an announcement made, there's sort of that, again, level of radio silence?
I think the extent to which the Democrats can continue to remind everybody that the investigation is ongoing works to their advantage. And to the extent that they can insinuate that we have to be concerned about the extent to which it's conducted fairly, given the history, that could potentially help them in the midterms. That said, they have many, many weapons in their arsenal right now to aim not only at Donald Trump, but at Republicans. So I think they will be picking and choosing. It's unclear if this will be the battle they want to fight.
And you raise a good point. Again, is this something that will come up as far? And we say as far, I mean, we know that we're in cycle 418. I guess it's a matter of how quickly this investigation takes place and that we find answers either way. And as you pointed out, there's plenty of other things. Did want to talk about the health care and the repeal, the vote this week for the repeal of Obamacare, obviously contentious on the Republican side. What do you expect the outcomes to be this week?
It's hard to know because for every conservative that the plan is picking up in the House, they're losing a moderate in the Senate. And so I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Paul Ryan is able to cobble together the numbers that he needs in the House. But at this point, it seems almost impossible to get a bill through the United States Senate. Right now there are 4 senators, 2 of whom say the plan doesn't go far enough, 2 of whom say it goes too far. It's hard to figure out how to thread that needle and get everybody on board. So I have a feeling that although Donald Trump can meet behind closed doors and tell House Republicans that their elections are contingent on voting yes, he has far less sway with the United States Senate.
And so what happens in that case? What does it look like if he's not able to succeed on the Senate side? Where does that put us? And what's a post-vote look if this doesn't succeed?
Well, it leaves the Democrats in a much better position because it allows them to say that the Republicans have had 7 years basically to put forward a plan. They were unable to do it. They were unable to do it even without any Democratic support. They weren't able to even marshal their own troops behind it. So it could be helpful for them for 2018. It also means that Obamacare remains the status quo, which is good news for the Democrats. But obviously the Republicans are going to do everything they possibly can to strike a compromise within their own party so that Obamacare is not the status quo.
And how do you envision that playing out? Again, we're prognosticating here again that this does go back to the drawing board, so to speak. I mean, how long would that process take? Here we are in March. Again, if this isn't able to move forward, do we expect something even this year? I mean, the wheels of Congress, we know, don't oftentimes turn quickly. And as you mentioned, that Obamacare would maintain the status quo. What's your sense of the ability of Republicans to go back to that drawing board, so to speak, and be able to put something forth? Because again, we do know that the president is pushing this forward. And again, if he doesn't succeed in this round, what are we looking at for a time frame?
It's really hard to know because what keeps striking me is the fact that the last time frame was literally 7 years. So they had 7 years to put together a plan that's unclear will pass their own party's litmus test. Obviously, they don't have another 7 years to try round 2, but I don't think this is going to be a situation where in 2 weeks there's going to be a rewrite. Now, we saw with the travel ban, 2 weeks later there was a rewrite, and that was just struck down as well. well. So, whether it's slow going or whether it's longer term, I think what the Republicans and the Trump administration need to realize is that they have to start accommodating and they have to start understanding what public opinion is and what people want and what their expectations are. And minor tweaks are not